Alright kids, we're in the shop and the ducky cart's out of the corner, which means electrical. Patient zero. I know when we started we said that we were going to be doing the injection pump on this truck, which we still are, because our friend Vermin, the gift that keeps on giving, if we get underneath the injection pump, there's a lot of gross stuff and this, that, and the other. Well, let's see if we can zoom in. Focus, baby, focus. So, come on. Well, there we go. We've got some, she's not want to focus. We've got a bunch of broken wires, just chewed through wires. So we've got some electrical to do. And realistically, we're still gonna pull the injection pump. That's still coming out. I am gonna still swap it, but I want to dig into some of this wiring because I'm like 99.9% sure that's why our truck's not running. These rodents have had a field day. So that being said, welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Electrical and pulling an injection pump. However, if you came here to see how an injection pump gets pulled, reinstalled, or how to set the TDC, I have phenomenal videos on those. Those links are in the description, so go ahead and check those out if that's why you're here. If not, we're gonna get started on this literal rat's nest. I really hope y'all saw the latest short on this thing. I love barn finds as much as the next guy, but I gotta tell you what, when it comes to annihilating rats and what they've done, easier said than done. So what we did is we went ahead, and in the great words of Mr. Jordan Peterson, if you have an overwhelming task to do you mind? Just a minute. But in the words of Jordan, I swear to God.
It sunk on its own. All I did was put it on the table.
Anyway, in the words of Jordan Peterson, when you have a large, overwhelming task, take it off a just a little chunk at a time. So what we managed to do here was we removed our washer fluid reservoir, right there. We undid the holders right here that hold the harness in, and then we vacuumed everything out. We also got rid of some of the wiring that's in here. We can see you.
I'm not doing anything.
And basically what it allowed us to do is it opened up the space that we need to get in here and start looking at the wiring and do what it is that we need to do. I'm not going to bore you guys with time lapses, but I'm going to go ahead and, now that this is cleaned, I've got a better look at it. I think we're going to go ahead and we're going to move towards the firewall, clean that shit out, and then we're going to get into probably pulling the injection pump. I'm trying to stay along the firewall here just because I want to see the wiring and all that, everything that's torched. I want to get rid of the stuff that we don't need, and you know, like I said, just kind of try to get a better idea as to what it is that I'm up against and what harnesses I need to lay out. Thankfully, I still have his OG harnesses, so if I gotta dive into them, then the cool part is they were both 1994s. Plug and play. Sidetracked, and yeah, all that firewall bullshit, that's all gone. Turbo's gone. All the injection lines are off. We again ripped all that shit off of the back because, again, you know, you guys look in here, you can see how much shit's built up. We had a bunch of that shit built up there. AC, don't worry about that. But there's a lot of very, very pissed off stink bugs and other little critters, which is also 90% of why I deleted. That's a lie. That's a lie. These OBS trucks, I don't care if you're doing it with a 6.5 diesel in here or if you're doing it with a Duramax. It is so much easier to get around these things with that shit off, because once they've reached this age, all they do is just knock all that fuzzy and shit. It's just, it makes a hellacious mess. So anyway, next thing on the docket is yanking this pump out, because we have Oh, my light's gonna die. We have so much more shit that's built up in the valley here, just from vermin and all that. And oh yeah, we found out why the truck doesn't run. This right here is our crank position sensor. Yeah, saw that laying across the front of the engine here. So even if we would have fixed all the wiring and did the injection pump and so on and so forth, she would have no idea. Look at that. Look at these squatters, man. Just unfucking real. But anyway, back to work. Pick up where we left off. Injection pumps out. We have this little guy gave us a run for our money. The crank position sensor, she broke off, or just a little metal tab actually, which hang on. Right there, you can see the other end of it. That rig broke off when we were trying to get her out. So we ended up just sending a screw down the middle of it and we extracted it that way. So she gone, she done. I found in the past it's easier to pop the bolts on the power steering pump, just get that out of the way. I'm not the biggest guy out there, but I'm not the smallest either, so I just did that to make my life easier. And also it's kind of nice having this truck on as small of tires as it is, because it's low. It's not the monstrosity that I'm used to. So valley's clean. This is all ready to go back together. Again, we have new sensor. We have an external relay here because we are going to be doing a manual glow plug override, and then I've got to get the other injection pump out of the house. We will get those lined up. We're going to throw them in right now. Right now we are tackling the wiring. I went through some of this and cut it back. So I'm going to see what I can make happen from here. No promises to myself. So, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started on the wiring in that first. And then we will commence to dumping all that shit back together, because this is going to be a little bit more time consuming than this. Famous last words. But yeah. Oh, and Sinister is probably going to want to sue me, but we have our heater core line, and then we have our fuel return lines. So should be a good time. I wanted to pick the camera up real quick because y'all, I cannot make this up. I just pulled my injection pump out of the box here, out of the bag, and I went to line up the pins, and they're pretty much fucking there. I can't make this up. Our electrical, we got that shit tied up. Valley's clean, ready to go. Crank position sensor is in. We have our, I need the fitting here for this. I've got this cut. The goal was just to pinch it because this is junk. I got to get a fitting. But I'm slamming the injection pump in. I didn't really cover any of the wiring or anything like that because it's monotonous. My fat ass is in the way, but I thought that right there was too cool. I don't know if the big dog, you're now an LBZ, well, you've been an LBZ, but dude's giving Sweet Thing her, I don't know, his blessing? I don't know. I just old school feels here, man. Having two OBSs in the shop. It's the colder time of year. I know damn snow, but I don't know. I'm feeling it. So, she's outside. She is together. And we got some weather coming, so I tried to get the trucks, the expensive ones, where they need to be, back under cover. So like I said, she is back together. This is our heater core line. It does need to go here. I am going to get the fitting for it. But anyway, the truck's all back together. It has the 5068 injection pump in it. It has the gray PMD. I do have the extension harness and the heatsink and all that for it, so relax. This thing has... I know she's getting fuel because we have a wicked fuel leak coming out of the #1 injector, so I know she's getting fuel. I did get the charger freed up and cleaned up and all that. It's, again, some of these, I didn't replace any of these gaskets putting it back together because that's not staying. This is going to get cleaned up much better than we did, which is already significantly better. But let's go inside real quick because it's cold. All right, it's warmer in here. So again, we moved her outside so that way we could get the other trucks inside. Because again, supposedly weather. But anyway, so in the process of repairing some of those harnesses, I got my glow plugs back. They functioned like they should. So I thought the relay was toast because they'd come on, turn back off. So, you know, typical 6.5 glow plugs, glow plug relay, injectors. None of that shit lasts very, especially lift pumps. But again, we put our old 5068 pump in there. I was cranking on it for a little bit. Now, it is kind of a pain in the ass to get these trucks to start. When you haven't done a TDC relearn or done the offset. So there's that, but I don't even have any fuel coming out of the tailpipe. So something's still not communicating, or when I do start getting it to come up on itself, my batteries take a dive. So probably gonna have to replace those. I don't know. I'm putting her outside. We got work to do on the pulling truck, so I'm just gonna kind of take a little break and let her marinate in the back of my mind. It'll come to me. It always does. We also found out why our taillights and all that don't work, so we're making progress. That truck's not gonna defeat me. I apologize that I didn't film as much B-roll as I could have. A lot of you guys don't know or realize, but that's where I started. I mean, I got you guys on my original 6.5. Granted, he's in LBZ Duramax now, but still, that's where I came up. So it was just kind of cool jumping back into the nostalgia of things, if you will. So it was a trip. It was completely different, but the same. So. And I started this YouTube channel after this truck had already been Duramax swapped. So, yeah, I've had a bunch of 6.5s, a bunch of OBS trucks. So, but anyway, we're gonna get back to it. I still think it's a harness issue because normally after you do one of those, you will get the TDC of stepper motor delay or something of the sort, and I don't have that. I've just got the emission shit. So. Yeah, we'll get it. But anyway, take care. God bless. Be good to one another, guys. And we'll be back at it shortly. See ya.